Fine. And I saw the room and the view he was looking at when he died. His cows and the grass down by the River Tweed. It was just wonderful. No, how did she die?
Oh, Margaret, she, in defiance of Henry VIII, she entertained the Jesuits and had mass in her basement.
Yeah?
And he found out about it, so she was sentenced. They took all her clothes off and took her door off of its hinges and laid it on top of her. Then they started pouring rocks until they had, rocks enough to flatten her out like a pancake. And then, I don't know, but anyway, I got up and I put my hand on the door as if that was the door. And I made a wish,
Well, she is one of the martyrs that this church the children were baptized in. It's the Church of the English Martyrs.
She and canonized it.
No, but they just call it the Church of the English Martyrs. They're all 42 people who were murdered unmercifully during Henry VIII.
I love her for what she did,
Yeah.
and for having a door that I could put my hand on.
Right.
Yeah, it's you're close to somebody like that, see? Yeah.
Right. No, there's so much to see. There's so much to see.
Oh, yeah.
France, too,
Yeah.
because we've done France.
Yeah.
Only one I haven't gotten to yet is Germany, but I have to follow the trail of the Berkners and the Weisses yet, and I'll get there.
You've got to get the Stoffel stuff.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Well, I don't know. It's too much work now.
I've got to take my German scholar
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
He speaks. He's my German
Oh,
scholar.
is that right?
Oh yeah.
I struggle.
No, you do not. You know it. He underestimates himself. He's a very good German scholar.
Yeah.
And so we want to take him so that he can be. Like Dorcas took us through France speaking French, so we didn't have to stay in the touristy places. You could go in little off-beat ones where near the square where Toulouse-Lautrec used to draw and all the rest of it. And under the shadow of the Sacré-Cœur.
My.
Walk along the street and get a bottle.
You're making me jealous now.
That's what I'm going to do with my retirement. That's why I retired.
Yeah.
Because I want to travel. Although my mother keeps scolding me because I can't take Amtrak.
Oh.
I said, Mom, when it crosses the ocean, I'll take it.
Oh.
She doesn't like me flying.
Oh, is that right?
No, she doesn't like flying.
Well, Amtrak, I don't know, the last time I took it from, let's see, where were we? We flew out to Denver, I guess.
Yeah.
And we got to Glacier Park somehow, I don't know. And then from Glacier Park up out to Seattle, we said Amtrak.
Amtrak.
Yeah, I was so doubted.
Two of them are teen. One, they adopted, and one is from Guadalajara, I think. Wasn't that where the girl is from, Bill?
I don't know, somewhere in Mexico.
Lovely girl. And then their young boy, and they had promised to take them to Valley Fair. So they're going to take them down. Really? And then they're going to come from there.
Yeah, okay, so they'll run into
But
each other.
Father Bunn isn't here yet, is he?
No, he had to say 10 o'clock mass.
Okay.
And he,
Because he's the one he saw my babies last. Now who have we got coming up here?
oh, this is Libby Casey, Chucky's. Chuck's
Libby
daughter.
Casey?
Yeah.
My God, she was a little girl the last time I saw her. Do you remember my Kathy and Anne-Marie?
Jesse.
Did I meet them over there?
When you were a little girl, you used to
No.
play with
Lillian's kid, huh?
Yeah.
Miriam. This is my daughter, Nikki.
Hi,
Pretty
Vicky.
cool.
Hi.
Yeah.
That's your
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with the
Oh,
sun.
no, I don't
Yeah.
remember you playing. I must have been very
I'm probably doing everything wrong.
You must
Photography.
have been listening. The last time I think Kathy got a good chance.
Well, it's automatic.
We stopped coming
Yeah,
with my
but
kids
all
to
this
transport
in the
them across
shade,
country.
taking
Was
pictures
getting
of people in the
acquainted
sun,
with
I'm
my
probably like
projects.
terribly overexposing
Well, we
myself.
got
Gotta be maybe 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
For a month. It's all right, I understand, dear. I just want you to know I love you. Next morning, for sure, I get a phone call. Why the hell do you do that to me?
And you picked the answer phone that had the feature like where the speaker can give a message of indefinite length, right?
Yep. Yep.
I have a few people who think that you should call me more often.
What
Aaron
was it?
Aardvark.
Gordon's cousin, her son just got a bachelor apartment because Gordy has a bachelor apartment just down the road a piece, and she hadn't heard from him for 3 weeks. And she wanted to give him a message. So she got it. She had a key to his place, so she went in there and she wrote a note on the table. Your grandmother, your mother and father were, your grandmother died. Your mother and father were killed in an accident. Please communicate. He said, what'd you do that for? What'd you do that for? Well, you gotta check in every once in a while.
Right.
Gordy will always check in. He said,
Is the car locked?
Yeah, uh-huh. You want it?
I want to get the camera.
Oh, sure, yeah. Here, or will you? Yeah, that's, I remember.
And the younger one's not here either, so.
Oh, that's,
I have a 13-year-old too.
and that's
John.
John. I was going to say, I knew you had a consistent, you felt like you had a
Yeah, Joe, Jean, and John.
yep, and then Kathy is a teacher's aide.
Caught the edge of a
Left skin hanging out.
Had nothing to do with riding rides.
Sounds like a horror film. Blood all over the bench.
No, I think they upgraded the stone. Wherever she may be buried, they have upgraded the stone, and so then they just came and brought the stone here. '58 was pretty old for back then, wasn't it?
Not when the rest of them were dying at 96 and 98. She's the one that walked with your great-grandfather, walked to St. Paul.
Okay.
And not only to St. Paul, but across St. Paul to the Irish church on the east side, so that my grandfather and your great-grandfather could be baptized.
Great-grandfather.
John
Holy
Martin
mackerel.
Casey. Yeah.
Donovan. So
Ellen
that's more
Donovan.
Irish.
She came from Limerick.
Ellen Donovan came from Limerick.
Came from Limerick.
Oh, all right. I knew I had more
The
Irish in me.
Casey's came from Cork.
Cork. Spelled how?
C-O-R-K.
That's it, huh?
Cork City. And
Ireland?
they
you're
were
talking?
they
Okay.
were pedagogists, which was teachers. That means that they had to speak Gaelic. Because you can't teach in Ireland unless you can speak the old language.
Lots of information here.
Yes, wait a minute.
Hey, my daughter and I, I've got a lot of Lil's daughter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got lots of stuff.
She's in Seattle?
She's in Seattle, but I'm in New Jersey. Okay.
So
Okay.
Ellen
Oldest.
Donovan was
The wife of
Great-grandmother.
John Casey.
here they have her down as Catherine in the cemetery. Was Ellen her middle name or?
Two back.
Well, John Martin.
Great-grandmother.
Our
John Martin Casey is
your grandfather.
my grandfather, and this was
His wife.
my mother's grandmother.
So it's our great-great-grandmother.
That's right. It's my great-grandmother. I'm sorry.
Oh, so then okay. Well, I just.
Yep. She's a neat lady, isn't she? She's got a lot on the ball. Really a lot on the ball. Okay, Jack.
We're gonna run out of ink or paper.
I got you now.
I don't know which way that works.
When she was teaching Section 8,
Yeah.
she got sick, and so I had to relieve her. I relieved her for a week.
Oh, she was talking about that on one of my tapes.
I was walking across the farm meadows there,
Yeah.
and Jack Ryder was out getting a load of hay
Yeah.
in the middle of winter by trudging the snow.
Uh-huh.
You want to know what the GD, how I was doing that? I was going to be Santa Claus at the Section 8.
Is that when she came back from Montana?
She was 58 years old when she died.
Can Lily come back from Montana?
She came back in 1918 or 1919 from
Yeah,
Montana.
I think it was.
And she said she wanted to go
I went
back.
out to Montana to see them, you know.
Yes,
Adley
you
and-
and Adley, right?
Yeah.
Well, Billy works for the company that Adelaide and Mommy used to come into town and buy their music from. Schmidt's Music Emporium. That's what Grandma calls it all the time. So he works for her now. But she said she came home for the summer, and what uncle was it that came out with the school board
Yeah.
and wanted her to take the Section 8 school?
Yeah.
And so they said, how much will you take? And she named her, at that time, an astronomical figure, thinking
Yeah.
they'd never agree.
Yeah.
And they said yes. So she said she had to stay home and couldn't go back to Montana. She wanted real badly to go back to Montana.
Yeah. She liked
then-
Montana.
Yeah, and then she went to the mail service. Then she met my father, and that was it. That was the end of the ball game for her. Stopped playing the violin even.
I think you should tell her if you're going after. She had years in the mail service. I think she's entitled to a teaching from the government.
Oh, really? I'll put
think
Gordon.
so,
I'll
yeah.
put how many years?
Huh? Well, whatever.
She
you
gets
see.
half of Daddy's pension.
You find out how many years she had and tell her to apply for it.
Well, Gordon will do it for her.
Huh?
Gordon will do it for her. Gordon's a pest. He can call
Yeah,
up.
okay,
He'd
yeah.
call up God and bother him until he got an answer.
Yeah.
I'll tell Gordon to check into that. I'll find out how many years she worked there, and I'll tell Gordon to check into it.
That's right.
Because, but we'll take care of her. I mean, she's okay. She's got security. Oh, don't let anything happen to our Lillian. So,
That's an expensive machine, isn't it?
Yes. Much more than I can afford.
Huh?
Much more than I can afford.
Yeah.
It was just rented.
I rented it.
You rented it?
Yeah, ours is broken. So I rented it.
I should have bought that too.
Yeah, I rented
I
it.
had a movie camera. I should have bought that out.
Yeah, well, this is better than a movie camera because the voice, you get the voices.
Yeah.
I go out there and Grandma comes out and she starts talking about what the old days, you know, the Weston Massacre and Dustin Massacre. Weston or Dustin? I don't remember. Dustin Massacre. And, you know, Gordon sneaks over in the corner and he turns it on and she's talking away. And then, you know, she'll sit there and talk for almost an hour. And I've got it on tape. The kids love it. Let's hear what Grandma said this time.
You should go find the tree she was looking for then.
Yeah, there's a tree she wants to see. She said she wished she could. Let me
The
see.
one, well, she had it in that letter. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, a tree, and if she could see her mom and dad's grave again. That was it. But she's too delicate to make the trip.
What are those trees across from our house?
Douglas.
Huh?
They're either Douglas fir or they're cedar. Either Douglas fir or cedar. I can't remember which. I know the ones you
I
mean.
think Douglas fir. They're naked when they're 15 or 20 feet up.
Yeah.
Then they have their birds.
Oh, well, she got a neat place. They're on a bight. It's tidal on Puget Sound. It's off of Henderson Inlet, and it's this little tiny thing. And you go out there after when the tide's out, and you can crab and all the rest of that stuff. Feed's really great.
Morning at 8 o'clock, and he had some what we call Vigilites who came very devoutly to Mass every morning. And one morning, Father was not there, and the Mrs. McCarthy, when it was 8 o'clock, she came over to the parish house, and she says, "Father, are we going to have Mass this morning?" And he says, yes, I'll be there. And she says, "Father, it's 8 o'clock." And Father McGillicuddy says, "It'll be 8 o'clock when I get there."
I get your message.
Very impressive. I was supposed to be here at 1 o'clock, I guess, Betty, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it'll be 1 o'clock when I get here.
Right. Hey, right.
Okay. This is going to be what you call an alternative Mass.
Just so it counts for today.
Oh, it counts. It counts.
Because I didn't go. I didn't.
The Mass of today, the texts of today's Mass, were not suitable for our gathering. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I read them over after I talked to Betty, and I said, no, we can't use those. They just simply don't fit. I made up a different formulary for this Mass, and I concentrated on the idea simply of family. Simply family. It's very simple, very general, and it says all I want to say. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So the whole thing, the readings will be about family, children's attitude to their parents, parents to their children, and so on and so on. And you'll get all this in the readings. I'm sure it'll come out to you. When it comes to the offertory of the Mass, I want you all. There's a bowl of bread particles there. Maybe we could bring it over here a little bit more. Put it in the center. Let's bring it over here, Chuck, and it'll be in the center better. I want the. Yeah. Here, here it is here. I want you all to process by here. Pick up your piece of bread carefully. We're going to be careful about crumbs and all that. And bring it up to me, and I'll receive it from you in the dish that I have there. This is an offertory procession. There are two processions in the Mass. The procession in which you give to God, and the procession in which God gives to you. You give to God in the offertory. God gives back to you something more wonderful and infinitely more precious when it's your bread and wine is changed into the body and blood of Jesus, and God gives it back to you. So it's important that we have the double procession, the procession at the offertory. You come to the altar, and I hope we have a song for it, Betty, do we? Doesn't matter. If there's a song, good. If there's an offertory song, good. Otherwise, you just come, each one of you, pick up your piece of bread. All of you are going to receive communion, isn't that right? And you pick up your piece of bread and bring it to me, and then after that's been done, will you bring the wine over here too? Then somebody, let's say Mary Elizabeth, will you do that? And Sally, you bring the bread. Okay. Mary Elizabeth, bring the wine to the altar there, where I'm going to be standing in the center. Okay.
Is there going to be a collection plot?
The collection usually takes place at the offertory time. I'll collect the bread from you.
Asked if there's going
I'll collect the bread and the wine from you. Okay, and there should be a homily in every Mass. I'd like this to be what they call a dialogue homily. You know what I mean? I'll say some words. Let's hope there'll be few. And I want you to come in and say what you want to say about the readings too. Listen to the readings carefully, and then whatever it puts in your mind to talk about in the way of reflection on the sacred text, speak up, and so on. Now you do that. Don't be afraid. Don't be timid. It's time the laity had been heard from. Then Betty will read the petitions. There are petitions. You have them all ready, Betty, is that right? Yeah, I will. And whatever she has prepared, we'll all answer, Lord, hear our prayer, and then each one of you maybe will have your own particular intention that you'd like to have us all to pray for. Please speak up at that time. Will you do that? All right. I say this is a celebration of family. I'd like to call your attention to the fact that, well, there are 6 generations here today. Can you figure that out? Jack Reinert and Betty were very gracious about when we changed the our stone out in the cemetery. The old stone was going to fall over any time, and we changed it, put a new one in, and I asked Jack to remove it. Now, ordinarily, people would simply throw that in the in the garbage, in the ash can. Jack and Betty very respectfully brought it out here and installed it in the grove out there. I hope you'll have a chance to look at it sometime before the day is over. It's the stone that was on our lots, 2 lots, I don't know, since Moses led the people out of Egypt. It's John Casey, that's the old John Casey, and Ellen Donovan, his wife. That's Pa's people, Pa's parents. And so that's the first generation. Then Dad, Pa would be the second generation. Lil, I wish you were here.
I'm representing her.
Good. Mary Elizabeth Sealer, that would be the third generation. And Mary Elizabeth's...
Sealer on her own.
No, Lil is the third generation. You are the 4th generation. And when I was in London this summer, I visited with John and Dorcas Sealer in their beautiful home in London, and that's the 5th generation. And I held in my arms their lovely twins, Sam and Pat. From John Casey Sr. down to Sam and Pat, we have 6 generations. Now that's only one line. You all have your own line. There are several 6 generations here, but I just mentioned that by way of example and exhibition. So let's all think about family today. Let's thank God for family life. Let's think of all our loved ones who are not with us, and even let's think about the loved ones who are with us. And when it comes to the time, for the sign of peace, when I say the peace of the Lord, let us all exchange one another the sign of peace. That'll be after the Lord's Prayer, after Our Father. Then we'll all have a real good handshake. If you kiss anybody, be sure it's your own wife, and so on. I think we're about ready. If there's anything else now, I'll just simply interrupt the Mass and make it clear to you. But if you gather around, this is going to be the main altar here. And if you can all be within earshot of me, I'd like to have you hear every word of the Mass prayers.
We've got this stuff going. I mean, Gordon and I, now we've got the sealers. We've got them nailed down, and we're going to try and get back to Copenhagen someday. Because the name actually came from French, from a French nobleman that left Paris during the French Revolution and went to Copenhagen. We got pictures of him.
Would you say the name of the town again?
Staffelstein.
And how did they pronounce the name then?
Staffelstein. That's my grandma called it.
Berkner.
Oh, Birkner, I think they may have pronounced it.
It's like a B-U with an umlaut?
I don't know, honestly. I was very young when Grandma and I used to talk about these things. Really, I couldn't spell. So,
I still can't.
But we have to do that too, because I mean, because Gordon's part German, but see, his German comes from Alsace-Lorraine. So we have been doing that part of it first. And also, the German mark isn't too good on the dollar. And he knows I'm a shopaholic, so he's sort of hoping that the dollar will balance off better against the mark. And then I want to go down the Rhine. I want to see Mad Ludwig's castle. Love to take Barbara and him with him, because Barbara would love to go back to Klagenfurt, where she was so long and the rest. But going to Hawaii this time. Haven't been there yet. And that's just about all the 50 states for us. We've done Alaska and Washington, so it's fun being retired.
Oh, mine is. It's a great reward. You can do a lot of good things.
Oh, it's lots of fun being retired.
But I think it's so nice you can get out to Seattle and you do your duty there.
Well, I wish I could do more. But George and I have it pretty neat. Do you have a picture of taking a picture?
Really?
Why don't we do this in a more
Why don't we get like standing or something?
Yeah.
Shade.
Well, because they're 80 and 90.
Everybody look here. Clarence.
Let's see Bun. Father Bun.
All right.
That's true, but hey, you know,
These are the 5 siblings, I mean.
That's right. You guys are relics. Dad, that may not be appreciated. They know they're just precious to us.
They're heirlooms.
Come on, you guys, turn around.
All right, smile at the camera.
Hey, Bun, come on.
Look like you're having fun, for heaven's sake.
Bun, you have to look up.
Shouldn't say that.
Church.
Church.
Where's the church?
Say bread.
Bread and wine.
My mother used to call me church all the time. Shut it down.
Thank you. You may go back to your...
I filled up fast.
Yeah.
That's right, I know. Give us your address at DC Law.
What?
That's right. You're permitted to receive mail there. Come on up here. This is one for focus on a sperm bullet.
I'll meet you in Mike and Deb's driveway. Fill it out, I'll sign it.
So everybody wave to the camera.
Bye-bye, Clarence. Bye-bye. Bye, you guys.
Dan, get up here, Dan.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now remember, charge it. Or something to that effect. Oh, Billy, I'd like to get a picture of you and your mom. Where did you go? There she
That'll be it.
You know, what about one of your classmates?
Father, you know that piece that I always ask you to play for yourself.
Brahms, lullaby.
Stick around, Charlie. I'm going to play it in a little while.
Oh, forget it. I like to leave. Bye, Mom. See you, folks. Good seeing all of you.
Bye-bye, Charlie.
So long, Charlie.
Crazy now.
Bye, Chaz.
Yeah, okay, fair.
That's not right. It starts down here someplace. It's a transcription by Percy Granger of the Brahms lullaby. I can't get started on it.
All girls?
Who's singing? Come along, give me a little help.
I'm humming. I can't think of the words.
No, give me a little help. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I'd like to be able to
Let's
recall.
run around.
You got a spot, huh?